Hello, everyone. I'd like to talk to you guys today about the Kalam cosmological argument. This argument I've talked with a few atheists, and for whatever reason, they keep arguing with me and saying that the Kalam cosmological argument does not prove God. And for whatever reason, that's in everybody's head that the Kalam cosmological argument is supposed to prove God exists, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So the Kalam cosmological argument says everything that has begun had a cause. So once something begins, something has to cause it to begin because it was in a state of not moving, it wasn't moving, then it began to do something, it changed. So something had to cause it to do that. And we all know through science that universe had a beginning. And we can get into how that is, but many scientists will agree that the evidence is pointing that universe had a beginning. And the third conclusion of that is that since the universe had a beginning, that something had to cause it to begin. So universe had a cause to begin. So this argument says nothing about God. It just says a cause. So once we agree to these three statements, everything that begins has a cause, universe had a beginning, something caused the universe to begin. These are the three sentences that make up the Kalam cosmological argument, but none of them say God, they just say cause. Now, after we agree to this argument, then we can talk about what the cause is, and that's where the atheists start blending the Kalam with what the cause is. But once you agree to the Kalam, you can move on to the cause. Now, I've had atheists not agree to the Kalam. They would say, well, we don't know if the universe had a beginning. Maybe it was in a state of in a state of constant, like it was a hot gas. That gas was there, and it just slowly over time or in an instant, it started to react and become what it is today. But in that case, it would have to something would have to start that gas to begin to do what it was going to do to become the universe. But before that start, it would have to be in a state of suspended gaseous state. And then when you start pressing the atheist to say, okay, well, how long was this gas existing? Was this an infinite gas? Was it always there? What caused it? And that's the root word. What caused that gas to all of a sudden decide to start reacting to cause the universe? Was it slowly reacting and all of a sudden it started the universe? When did it start slowly? Where was it before that? They don't really know. So, end of the day, some people can't get out of the Kalam, but most rational people, scientific people, people that are thinking with what they see, the evidence, it looks like there couldn't be an infinite gas or a marble or because some of them say it was just a matter, a real small matter, size of a pinhead, a marble, a golf ball, a basketball, doesn't matter. They're saying it was a dense object, and that object all of a sudden got too hot or whatever happened to it, it reacted and it exploded, and that's what happened. They have no proof for that. They're just grasping at straws. There's no, because remember, we have to come up with what the cause is. Now, a Christian will come up with a cause because from what they see. So we're going to see the design argument. We're going to say, wait a second, looks like there's design in the universe. We're going to see the moral argument. We're going to know, wait, there is something as morality and justice. All these things can happen from a gaseous state or a little marble that explodes. There has to be a mind behind this. So that's why we as Christians point to God. Well, the atheist is just grasping at straws. I mean, obviously, probably one of the stupidest ones I've ever heard is the infinite regression universe, where it explodes and becomes universe, then implodes on itself, then explodes, and this is happening infinitely. Again, these are just dreams. You have to have a lot of faith in something like that, and none of them really believe that. They just, as atheists, want any answer for the cause to be anything but God. So that's not really searching for the truth. They're not looking for truth. They just don't want it to be God, even though everything's pointing to God. And that's why I respect agnostic. Agnostic will say, yeah, it could be God, but atheist will say, no way it's God. There's no way. Let's look for another answer. I don't care if it's a multiverse. Let's go for that one. That one might sound better. But that's the problem with the atheists. They're not looking for the truth. They're looking for an agenda. They want to make sure God is not the answer. So anytime you argue with an atheist about the Kalam and they say, well, the Kalam doesn't prove God, you say, absolutely, it does not. You're right. The Kalam, once you agree to these three components, then we move on to the cause, and then we start looking at evidence of what the cause could be. It could be anything at that point. We could say it's not the Christian God, maybe it's some other God, maybe it's something else, but we have to look for that cause. Some people say it's aliens, so we have a lot of theories on what it is, but as Christians, we're looking at the evidence, what it could be, and that's where we have to point atheists to. But again, just a reminder, anytime somebody argues using the Kalam and try to tell you that the Kalam doesn't prove God, you tell them you agree, and you get them to agree to the Kalam first, because a lot of atheists won't agree to the Kalam. They'll get stuck in it, and usually they'll get stuck because they know that if once they agree to the Kalam in the beginning and the cause, and they know where it's going, they're going to say, well, we don't really believe in the Kalam the way it is. Maybe it's, let's spend more time on the Kalam. And really the Kalam, once you understand it, it's just so simple. It's a 30-second, 1-minute conversation, and then you have to move on. And you don't go back to the Kalam and talk about how it exploded or how the universe came to be. We just have to say, it did happen. There was a beginning. Now we investigate what does everything look like now. So you have to really argue in a straight line where you just keep moving forward and make sure you're not going backward, or a circular argument. Well, I've had a lot of lengthy circular arguments with atheists, and I usually let them get in a circle because I think eventually they're going to get themselves dizzy, right? Because I'm trying to pull them out of the circle. They want to put me in the circle. I say, okay, well, let's continue going in the circle. But as long as they have to realize that they're the one wanting to stay in the circle. I want to move forward. I want to start getting some facts together that we agree on and then move forward. And a lot of them don't even want to get out of the Kalam. And usually those will never become Christian. They'll be stuck until they can get out of the Kalam. And that's why I think the Kalam is probably a starting point of everything, because that's pretty much saying that's where the beginning was. And even in the Bible, God said in the beginning. So that's reaffirming that the Kalam is agreeing with the Bible. There's no discrepancy. It is in agreement because God says in the beginning, and the Kalam is talking about the beginning of how everything started. So hopefully that's helpful, so there's no misunderstandings of the Kalam. And there's some Christians don't understand the Kalam too. They start getting into God did this, and while they're talking about the Kalam. But we always have to remember, when we're using the Kalam, you use it for what its intended purpose is to provide the fact that there's a cause, and then you leave it alone. You don't mix the other causes or what you think the cause is with the Kalam, because that's how the atheist is going to use against you to say, oh look, this is the Kalam's not proving anything. It's just saying there's a cause, and then you have to say, okay, that's fine. Let's agree to that and let's move forward. Let's not get in a circle. All right. So that's it for me. But hopefully, that's a helpful argument for you. Thank you. Bye.